When God's people stopped rebuilding God's temple, God sent prophets to give his people a message. Zechariah was one of the prophets who told the people what God said. This was God's message: "Return to me, and I will return to you." God reminded the people about their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. The prophets told them to stop sinning, but they did not listen. So God had punished the people for their sin. "Don't be like them," God said. One night, God gave Zechariah some messages through visions. Zechariah saw 8 visions. Each was a different message from God about something that was going to happen. In the first vision, Zechariah saw a man riding on a red horse. Behind him were other horses. They had been patrolling the earth. Everything was calm and quiet, but soon the Lord would punish his enemies. The Lord's house would be rebuilt, and his cities would be blessed again. In the second vision, Zechariah saw 4 horns. These stood for Israel's enemies. Zechariah also saw 4 craftsmen who would defeat those enemies. Next, Zechariah saw a man going out to measure Jerusalem. But the city could not be measured because it was too big for walls. Instead, the Lord would be a wall of fire around it. In the 5th vision, Zechariah saw a solid gold lampstand, which showed how all the Lord's plans would happen because of his Spirit. Then Zechariah saw a flying scroll, which was a curse on everyone who disobeyed God. In the 7th vision, a woman sat inside a basket. She represented the wickedness of those who worship false gods. She was lifted up and taken back to Babylon. In the 8th vision, Zechariah saw 4 chariots. Like the horses of the first vision, they would patrol the earth. God told Zechariah to collect silver and gold from the people. "Use the gold and silver to make crowns," he said, "and place them on the head of Joshua, the high priest." Joshua's crowns meant that a special king was coming to bring peace for everyone. "Look, your king is coming to you. He is righteous and victorious, humble and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey," Zechariah said. God promised to bless his people and punish the rest of the nations for their sin. One day, everyone will worship the Lord. God was going to help his people and give them a different kind of king. Jesus is the king who came and rode humbly on a donkey, just as Zechariah said. Because Zechariah's prophecy came true in Jesus, we can have hope and forgiveness of sins when we trust in Jesus.